Thanks a lot, and it's my pleasure to be here today. LIGENTEC represents an integrated photonics approach here. So my presentation will cover what integrated photonics can bring to biosensing area and how LIGENTEC can help you to succeed there. To start with, a couple of words on what is LIGENTEC and what is our place and value proposition in the photonic ecosystem. So we are chip manufacturing provider, and we work with silicon nitride platform. We can cover all the stages starting from early prototype to volume production, and we supply our customers with photonic chips, which later on can go into a final product, module, or a system. As I mentioned before, we are a part of the ecosystem, which means that we work and collaborate closely with software and design houses, as well as with the packaging providers, to ensure that the development process can be smooth throughout the whole product development cycle. Next, probably I will repeat some of the previous speakers, but just a couple of words on the basic principles on how integrated photonics approaches biosensing and microscopy. I will start with the top left part of my slide. So basically here you can see a sketch, and the dark layer represents a waveguide, basically a layer in which your light is propagated in a system. The light blue color is a cladding material around it. And the sensing is based on the fact that any kind of sample or analyte placed in contact with a waveguide will affect the propagation of the light inside it. And therefore, having such kind of interaction region as a part of some sensitive optical components, such as, for example, a ring resonator or Mach Zehnder interferometer, will cause a change in the optical output signal, depending on the presence and amount of the analyte. Similar principle applies to microscopy or imaging, but here you use your sample, say stained cell, and you place it on top of a waveguide. The light which is propagated inside the cell, inside the waveguide, interacts with the markers inside the cell, excites them, they re-emit the light and allow you to do imaging. Next, to the right-hand side of my slide, why people would opt to go for an integrated approach. Well, an ultimate goal here is to make steps toward lab-on-chip devices and to be closer to point-of-care diagnostics approach, which means that you are able to do even complicated analytics and diagnostics without a need for complicated and expensive lab equipment. And here, integrated photonics can bring footprint reduction, cost reduction, and allow mass fabrication of the devices. The next reasonable question, as I mentioned, we are silicon nitride platform. So why not to be stick to traditional silicon photonics? And here an answer is that silicon nitride is a flavor of silicon photonics, and therefore it holds the same benefits, but still having some additional advantageous features which you can benefit from. For example, lower loss, which can allow you having more sensitive devices. Silicon nitride as a platform is more thermally stable per se, and also it has a transparency in the visible range, which is really of high importance if you plan to work with biosamples. All of this really allow you to do a lot of interesting and great applications. For example, on-chip wide field of view super resolution imaging or integrated spectrometers. As an example, here you can see an integrated array waveguide grating operating in visible wavelength range fabricated in our platform. Next, let's move to where LIGENTEC can bring its expertise and be a beneficial partner for you. So our process is based on photonic grade materials, silicon nitride, silicon dioxide, and is really versatile in a sense that it allows a great flexibility of the approaches and the shapes that you can try. As an example here, you can see some of the cross sections of the waveguides which are possible to be fabricated in our platform. We have a great control over the fabrication process, and therefore we can offer, for example, local and precise cladding removal, which is an essential part for sensing applications. Moreover, we have a pre-developed component library and template library, which is continually updated and can allow you fast and easy prototyping and proof of concept devices. And of course, I think to mention As many other platforms, our goal and the things that we have in our roadmap is photodiode integration and laser source co-integration on a chip, which can allow you full functionality system on chip. Now, going to the epic part. So what we can do for you and what you can do for us. As I mentioned, LIGENTEC is a chip manufacturing provider, silicon nitride based, and therefore what we can bring to you is a system on chip devices which have a broad transparency range from visible to mid-infrared, really low loss, around 0.1 dB per centimeter in our standard process, or even below that for more advanced processes that we have. We have developed components and PDK, and what is important, we can offer fast turnaround, which means that from the order moment till you have your chips at your place, it could be as short as 2 months. What we are looking for and what you can do for us, basically it's on the supply chain part. We're always looking for metrology partners and packaging partners, especially in the visible wavelength range. And of course, we will be interested to be in contact with people and groups or organizations who have expertise in surface functionalization to be able to address more complicated requests and needs of the community.